Okay, so we're building the sword Lightning. This is the T4 that I've been building. So just to run you by a few things that I've been doing over the last few days. Okay, the sword kit has got full length cable ducts. The T4 was based on the Lightning F1A and so had short cable ducts, so you have to trim these back in the kit. It wasn't much more than a 5 or 10 minute job each side, just to remove this excess length of cable duct, restore the panel detail where it's been removed, and deal with the forward edge of the actual cable duct itself to give it a rounded appearance. Quite easily done, quite quick work. The other thing I've done is, if you've seen any of my Lightning builds, you know I like to do them with the undercarriage up. So I've used some a piece of tubing, or square tubing, as you can see it's hollow at the end, and I've let it into the fuselage here with super glue. The idea being that once it's together on my little stands that I make, it will just slot in like so, and allow the model to look like it's in flight, like so. Okay, so that obviously there'll be some sanding to be done in and around that area when it's dry, or when the model's assembled, but we'll take that in our stride. I've done the nose wheel bay. All I did for this was, let's just put that tube away. All I did for this was I used some 1mm 40 thou thick plastic sheet to replace the undercarriage doors, rather than fiddle around with the individual small ones in the kit. And once that's all sanded smooth when they're joined, I'll rescribe, or might share another method for restoring undercarriage doors with you. And the other thing I've done is there's very small tabs on the inside of the fuselage for where the cockpit tub locates. So as you can see on each side, I've just used again some more 1mm plastic sheet to extend those tabs out, so that the tub will locate better, like so. Okay, hopefully you can see the way that locates in there, and so that when I join, that's firmly located. So that's the work so far on the fuselage. I hadn't intended to start one of these, but I've been looking at it for a while, and this week I just thought, yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of projects on the go. So the other thing we've got is the wings. Now, for whatever reason, I had my wings were short shot. Particularly, specifically I would say the starboard wing was short shot on the underside, and there was an area of short shot around the aileron mass balance and at the rear where the flap locates, just here. So I've after assembling the wings, I filled that with Tamiya epoxy putty, and I've sanded that smooth, and this has been primed. So what I've got to do next is, as you can see, I've added the undercarriage doors. They've all been sanded smooth as well. So the next job afterwards, now that's dry, is to spend a bit of time rescribing the panel detail where I've lost it. So sort of across, I'm trusting that the Tamiya putty is going to withstand this, so it's just a case of very lightly restoring that panel along the trailing edge there, which is basically done now. As you can see, I've just done that with 3 or 4 passes. So there's some other detail that needs to be restored around here. So it's just going to be. I'm not massively panicked about this detail, because most of it will not show up, or it will show up, but it's on the underside of the model. So as long as I've got something that's reasonably correct, I'm happy, because effectively once it's on its stand you're only ever going to see the top, so I'll work on getting the top sides right but not worry about the undersides. So anyway, that's the Sword Lightning T4 that I'm sort of been working away on recently, in between other projects. So other projects include the new Airfix Spitfire 5B, which is a very nice model. You can see there's been just one or two very minor bits of filling done here. I did find that I had to, once I'd put the interior in and got the wing assembled, I had to do some sanding and removal of some stuff in and around the wing joint to get the wing to seat properly, where all you've got is a panel line along sort of the wing root and stuff like that. But it was a work of a few minutes, not a problem. The model does come with the strengthening strakes on the wing top side. I'm doing the Malta aircraft, so I'm quite happy that at that point in the war it wouldn't have had the strengthening strakes. Again, they were removed. They go across the leading edge spar line. So again, there was some minor detail that had to be restored, or a panel line that had to be restored there. Not a problem. Again, this is all very basic modelling stuff really. I have bought new brass gun barrels for it. The kit ones are okay, but I like to replace, certainly on 48 scale Spitfires, I normally replace the cannon barrels. So that's the wing leading edges have been drilled out, and they'll just pop into there, be lined up and glued in place when I'm ready, like so. So that's a Spitfire. That's coming together now. I need to get the canopy in place, get some other minor things. The radiator and the oil cooler intakes or fairings need to be added. But we're basically ready to start painting that in the next couple of days. I haven't been in here very much recently because it's just been this summer. We've had a couple of weeks of really hot weather. I work in the evenings. Unfortunately, my model room faces towards the west, so as the sun's setting in the evening it gets stiflingly hot in here, so my modelling has been quite severely restricted. So what else have we got on the go? So I've got lots on the go at the moment. This is the new Airfix Blenheim Mk1, which I've had on the go again for a couple of weeks now, on and off, bits here and there. I'm sort of slowly masking off the canopy areas, ready for paint. I must say it's a lovely model, but I have had some pretty challenging times with the engine nacelles, which each engine nacelle comes in 3 parts. The main circumference comes in 3 parts, and it's been a bit of a major challenge to get that together, and it's at the moment I'm still not happy with it. So this is one that's gone on the back burner for a while until I'm ready to reapproach it and see where we are. Well, anyway, that's the Airfix Blenheim. So as you can see, it's a lovely bit of modelling, lovely bit of tooling, goes together very nicely. 1 or 2 very minor fit issues, but nothing that I'm particularly perturbed about, nothing to lose any sleep over. What else? Here we have a trumpeter early flanker. Now this is one where I've so far painted this 3 times and still not been happy with the flanker blues that I've used, so I'm still searching for colours that I'll be happy with. So just recently everything got stripped off, this got sanded back completely with micro mesh and reprimed, and as you can see I've started repainting the metal areas on this prior to masking them off, so I can go to do the main colours again when I've decided on which colours I'm going to use. As you can see, this is a very early flanker with the mass balances and things like that. So there's a very early flanker, and over here, you just give me 2 seconds to bring this over. Also recently, the Zvezda SU27 SM1, which is the kind of the remanufactured flanker. If you're talking about this flanker in Western terms, I guess you'd call it a midlife update flanker, or in sort of F-15 terms, an MSIP flanker, if you will. But it's an upgraded baseline flanker, and this is the new Zvezda model. It's a beautiful model, goes together really nicely. It's got quite a complex breakdown with a separate forward fuselage, separate wings, even separate leading edge flap areas. The problem is with the leading edge flaps, they're not actually moulded to be, they're not intended to be portrayed any way other than up. The only reason I can see they were separate is that the SU27SM has two very small radar warning receiver nodules on the leading edge flaps. If you'd asked me personally, I would have said it certainly was not worth moulding the leading edge flaps separately for the sake of those two little modules. Nevertheless, Zvezda have done so. It's one of the more, it's not massively challenging, but it is an area of the kit that you have to be careful with. But other than that, the model goes together exceptionally well. You can see again, all the undercarriage is being done retracted here. There's the hole where the stand will locate, like so, so that our flanker will be again. I'm trying to get a good view here, good angle for you. So there it is. Again, that'll be on a stand. That'll be in flight. The pilot to go in there. Zvezda including a very nice pilot figure. So as you can see, I'm just putting the tail feathers on, just to show you how the model looks. So there's the Zvezda SU27 SM kit, which again has it's kind of stalled. It's not stalled, but I've been I seem to have a very small attention span at the moment. I think it's summer with the heat and stuff, so I'm starting lots but not really getting very far into them before they kind of grind to a halt for a while. Nevertheless, there's nothing actually wrong with the way that's being built. There's no, I haven't made a mess of it or anything. It's just the way my interests go from day to day at the moment. So anyway, that's in there. So let's just seal that box. Put that over there, out of the way. Just a note on the trumpeter flanker. Same thing. Look, hole. And there's an in-flight flanker. I love doing 72nd scale jets in flight at the moment. I think it's a great way to display them. It just means that you have to get good quality pilots to put into the cockpits. But that's the same there. So let's move those out of the way. And the final one at the moment that is on the bench but is very much kind of moribund is the Academy F-35A. Now I really can't say enough good things about this model. It's an exceptional kit, beautifully detailed, goes together very easily, very nicely. Even adding stuff like the weapons bays and undercarriage doors. If you want to do them all closed, the whole thing fits like the proverbial glove. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Again, there's the hole, there's the stand, so we can do an in-flight of that as well. We will be doing an in-flight of that. People are always asking me about the stands. This is a stand that I made myself. I made a master. And I cast one. I've got a rubber mould, and I cast a copy of it in resin whenever I want it. It's just a bit of bit of brass tubing which I cut to length, and with a bit of fiddling around with the angle of the angle that the tube goes into the model and the angle you set this at, you can actually vary the angle the model will sit at, the finished model. So yeah, it's you know, we're getting it together very slowly here. The reason this has hit a brick wall is nothing to do with the kit and everything to do with the colour scheme. I'll just show you one of the vertical tails. You can see on that vertical tail there's a lot of masking between the greys that needs to be done for this model. Now the problem is the F-35 is covered in what you can only really call ram tape. It's a radar absorbent material. It covers the panel lines. It's 6 to 8 inches thick all over the model. The aircraft is absolutely covered in these, and it's a complete masking nightmare. It will take weeks and weeks of working away to do this to my satisfaction, and quite frankly I don't have the willpower to go through it at the moment. I've just taken delivery a couple of weeks ago of the new Hasegawa F-35A, and all of the RAM in that is done as decal, so you can put the basic grey down. There's 1 or 2 areas you've got to do in a lighter grey, and then the whole lot is just done with decal. So I'm looking at that and thinking, life's too short to spend weeks and weeks masking this to make an accurate F-35. I'll get around to it eventually, but right now I just lack the willpower. So back in the box it goes, and if I build an F-35 in the next few months, it's likely to be the Hasegawa kit, simply because of the fact that all the RAM panels are represented as decals. You can see on the box there that gives you an idea of just how much of it there is all over the aircraft, and as you can imagine, that's got to be done accurately to the panel detail and all the rest of it. It would just be frankly it's more than I'm prepared to go through at the moment. I had thought that Paracle decals were looking at doing a set of decals for it, but it turns out Kursad said that no, he was looking at doing it for the 48 scale Kitty Hawk kit, although he was prepared to be convinced that the Academy kit was the best on the market and he should be doing it for them. So I've tried to do that, and we'll wait and see what happens, but if he decides to do a decal sheet for it, I'll be most happy. But anyway guys, I know it's been an awful long time. It's been another one of those funny old years for me so far, but that's a brief update on what I've been up to. Been building a lot of armour this year, and just recently stepped back into the aircraft sort of arena. One thing I have picked up in the last couple of weeks, some Acan lacquer paints. There's a set of Southeast Asia paints and a couple of basic colours. These we got from I think they're called hobbycolour.com in Greece, who were very, very good, very quick service, probably less than a week from ordering to turn up in the UK from Greece. So I've got those. I've done some test spraying on them, and I have to say they're as good as, if not better than, Mr. Colour in terms of how easily they freehand. So I'm looking forward to doing some experimentation with those in the very near future. So that's a little extra, just to let you into what I've been doing paint wise. I've got to get back to my airbrush soon. I'm missing it desperately, and I haven't got to the stage yet of being able to paint. So hopefully soon. Well, anyway, that's just where we are at the moment. It's I don't know, it's the 27th of July, so we're nearly into August now. So there we are. That's where we are, and hopefully I'll keep the enthusiasm to bring you some updates again very, very shortly. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.